guys, this is Newsnstanta Sport, the best sporting show in the whole of the universe. I don't know why Kachi is wearing head warmer. It's not even 4 years for crying out loud. I don't know why he's wearing an head warmer. He wants to look cool. He wants to look cool today. He wants to look cool today because I finished it last week. But now he has gone from bad to worse. Anyways, my name is Finale Adeboale. I'll allow all the analysts introduce themselves. I'll start with Oracle Kachi.
Sports fans, today is a bad hair day, and I decided not to inundate you guys with how great my hair looks. Forget what it is. I need to say something. I'm tired. I'm tired of Arsenal fans and Arsenal jersey wearing fans coming out to speak rubbish because they handled their younger brothers that everybody knows need to handle. But big congratulations to them. There's nothing we can say than to say congrats. Something else I think I should mention, we might not have the time to talk through it. Max Verstappen has to be very careful how he continues to manage, or how he has to be careful with his temperament and his overtly aggressive nature when it comes to driving. We thought this was going to be a walkover season. We thought this season should have been over right now. But Verstappen, due to his anger, is making the F1 race or the F1 season very interesting. We'll park that on the side and we'll say, welcome to Olawale. And Olawale, do you think that Cristiano Ronaldo officially and verifiably has more goals than Pelé? Say it.
Yeah, good sporting fans around the world. It's good to be back on the show. Last week was international break, and I think it's one of the worst international break we've ever had. Everything was silent, lots of injuries. But again, the internet made it very interesting for us. On Twitter, on X, I prefer to call it Twitter. There was this trending about Barkley's men, and we had to probably a lot of players that were forgotten that they probably play football or the kind of style of football we were probably accustomed to in those days. And the memories of those guys came back. You saw a player like Jimmy Bullard, Yakubu Ayegbeni, very interesting guys that are, I think Benafa, a lot of couple of guys, not really the biggest of the biggest stars, but guys that probably their character on their own. Rory Delap, that guy that can use throwing to kill opponent, the Samaladice boys. So it was refreshing knowing that, wow, the Premier League has been going on for so long. And again, for so long, I can't remember the last time I thought of Yakubu Ayegbeni. But when I saw Everton posting that video, and I truly was like, Yakubu was that consistent goal scorer. Yeah, like we're talking before the behind the scene when we talk about a player like Solanke. I don't think a player like Solanke is better than Yakubu Ayegbeni doing this.
No way.
So it was interesting seeing that.
Yakubu will guarantee you double figures every season.
Yes, 16 goals every season was guaranteed. It
was just unlucky not to apply for a top 6 club.
Yeah. Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah. Anyways, we'll go straight into where do we start from? Look at my jersey for crying out loud.
Right.
Without Declan Rice, without Odegaard, Arsenal handled their business. Zinchenko was out, Galore was out, a lot of players were out. Arsenal needed to play guys that we don't know their real age. Individual Lukaku, Jorginho, and Thomas Partey. But they handled their business for real, and it was so many nervy occasions for them. This is a game that if they played against a better team, they probably would have lost. But it's Spurs. Spurs is not Spurs, like Ferguson would say. And Arteta became the first Arsenal manager to have won 3 consecutive times on the bounce against Spurs. And now officially, Arsenal has won against Spurs at the Sports Stadium more than Spurs has won at the Sports Stadium against Arsenal. Wow. what a bad point. It's 3-2 right now. And Chachi, I'm going to come to you. for real, let me start with Olawale. I know I'm not overly critical of players, and I try to put players in my position more often than not. But when we see this consistent or constant drop in level for some players, they need to be called out. And I'll start with Trossard. I know Trossard is very close to your heart. Trossard, when he starts games, is always missing. When he comes in, he plays very well. Probably get goals, and against a tired left back or right back, he's playing very well. Martinelli has not played football, like good football, for more than 1 year. You know, Saka. My wife had told me that I'm critical of Bukayo Saka. Saka went missing without Martin Odegaard in the team. He does not have that person to play 1-2 on the right hand side with. And you look at Gabriel Jesus. Jesus cannot even nick the top line, which is the striking role, ahead of Kai Havertz. That speaks volume of his injury record, his practice, and whatever his overall profile as a footballer. It goes a long way to show it. But Olale, my question is realistically, do you think Arsenal were lucky to get this 1-0 victory against Spurs? That's my own opinion, but I want to hear yours.
I don't think so. Well, it was probably a cagey affair. It wasn't really that much of an open and expressive football. But kudos to us. I think this is the reason why he wants a relatively big squad. Is because of this kind of injuries. Well, when I look at that Arsenal lineup, I still think they put up a strong lineup. Jorginho, and it's very good when you have players like Jorginho who probably are ready to accept that they will not play every game, but when they are called upon, you see them bringing their A game. Having Jorginho and Partey in the midfield, I don't think was a very that was a bad squad. So, but again, overall, I think attacking wise, both teams were a bit disappointing. I think Arsenal didn't take advantage much of Spurs' high line defense. Often, I expect them to probably, even as much as they don't have Odegaard and probably Rice, I was expecting them to at least create more chances because Spurs was really playing high line. And for Spurs, I don't know. I think they have created more problem for themselves with the signing of Solanke, because if you look at it, and you are playing, Son is not that young, and I'm not sure he has that athleticism for him to take on players on that flank. Like, he likes to play inside from that left. He plays closer to the box than hogging on to the touchline. I don't think that is what he can do at this stage of his career. So I don't know. The manager might have to do a bit of rethink about his what do you call it, of his tactics and his setup. And I just don't feel, I think towards the end of last season and this season and the beginning of this season, I just don't feel the body language of the sports manager. I think something is off with him. It wasn't the same guy that we saw at the beginning of the season. I just think there is something not too right with the whole thing. But overall, as much as you might want to claim, yes, there are not too many chances, but I won't say they were very lucky. I think defensively, and kudos to Arteta. Like somebody said, it's one reason probably, as much as I give Ten Hag a lot of support, you don't have to take him. So one thing Arteta has done, and was very, very deliberate about it since he joined Arsenal, is to make them difficult to beat. And you could see they don't concede too many chances. I think that's the first thing as a big team. He just do have to concede chances. I think he has solidified the defense. I think there are options in midfield. The next line of thing for Arsenal is to sort out the attacking intrigues. How do we create a lot of chances? Because what makes you win a lot of games is your ability to create. Like when City plays, you just know that the 3, 4, 5 chances will come, and of course they will take 2. The more chances you create as a big team, of course, the higher chances that you come out. I think that is the next phase for what do you call it? For Arteta to
All
solve
right.
now. But I think for this
Perfect.
game, I think it was a deserved victory. No matter how you want to look at it, it might not be so brilliant, or it might not be so. But again, I don't think there was any point in time you would say they were very lucky. I think they deserve their victory.
Abukachi, what do you think? Do you agree with Olade? Although I have another question for you, but
Yeah. Before you get there, yes, what I was thinking was, if you had asked me that question, I would have tried to explain that. I think we should stop, especially at this stage of the season, and seeing what Mikel Arteta is able to get out of this supposed players that are not playing at the top of their potential, that we should start complimenting the fact that Arsenal is so good as a sum of its parts than having individual or single difference makers in the team. You know, this was a game played without Martin Odegaard. This was a game played without
Declan Rice.
Well, Rice was because of the red card.
Yeah.
You know, this was a game that, you know, we sat down to talk about how Martinelli seems not to have improved year over year. But in spite of this, in spite of having two defensive and attacking midfielders that are well over 30 in Jorginho and Partey, in spite of having a 17-year-old Nwaneri, collectively, in spite of one person not shining in that whole team, Arsenal did not look like Spurs was threatening them. At no stage in that game, even if they were not creating clear-cut chances, which probably would be the only downside to that performance, which is, and Olawale alluded to it, the more chances you create, which is your XG, the higher the opportunity to convert your XG to goals. But in a KG affair like this, which we really have to say, and let's just be honest, I know I gave Arsenal fans a lot of grief at the start of but we have to be honest that in a KG affair such as this, another sign of Mikel Arteta's progress. We saw it last year when they were very pragmatic against City at the Etihad, came up with a nil-nil draw. But they are showing that when it's a KG affair, they can still. Let's not forget it is a marathon, not a sprint. The league is not awarded or was not awarded at the end of match day 3 or match day 4, as it were. There's 4 more games to go. There are days when you will play your opponents out of the park. There are days when other teams like Liverpool, like Man City would hold the possession. But at the end of it, can you get the result that helps you? Would you rather play like Liverpool did, and we will get to that? Would you rather play like Liverpool did and lose to Nottingham Forest, or play without having a single outstanding performance from anybody and get the result away from your bitter rivals? I will take.
Yeah. 100%. I just kind of feel a draw would have been a fair result, given how both sides played. Spurs had their own chances. Arsenal did as well. Arsenal could not take their moments because no matter how you want to say it, Arsenal is the bigger team between both teams. But Kashi, I heard you talk about in one area. That was my question to you. I don't feel comfortable with Arteta not blooding youngsters into the team.
Okay.
It was not the one that blooded Bukayo Saka, Emil Smith-Rowe. It wasn't the one that blooded Eddie Nketiah. Those guys were in the team before Arteta came. You know, and we've not seen Arteta give chance to any of the youngsters. Do you think he would be able to give chance, a well-deserved chance to Ethan Nwaneri and Skelly this season? Which I think he should, because if you look at Man City, you just see a guy like Oscar playing. I've forgotten the name of the other guy right now. Bob playing as well. You know, those guys, even though his City is a prep squad, those guys still get number of games. You know, do you think Arteta should improve on that?
I think, and I would like to qualify it by saying what is happening in City is because Pep has built so much capital. Pep is not under any pressure to win now. He has won. He has created a habit of winning. Arteta is right now trying to create that habit or build a new culture in Arsenal, where he may not have the luxury of tinkering or experimenting in must-win games. If this was a time when he probably has a 10-point lead, I know they had 8 points 2 seasons ago, but if they had a 10-point lead, he can experiment by bringing in. Waneri playing today obviously was a product of circumstance. Was really because he was kind of tired,
Yeah.
And Lale alluded to it. This is the reason why you need a very expansive team or squad, not like what Chelsea has, but a squad to navigate the season and all its intricacies.
Yeah, you have to go there.
Yeah, I had to go there. I'm sorry. That's just what I do. I'm a pro. I do believe, however, that in the Carabao Cup we will see more of the likes of Waneri and other boys coming through the ranks. I think he's getting more comfortable now after 3 seasons and seeing that the custodian of the youth team is also passing message. I believe that's Jack Wilshere. Is also passing.
No, Metasaka. Jack Wilshere is under 18.
Metasaka and Wilshere. Waneri obviously came through under 18 because he's 17, right? So there is that consistency in. So they are pretty much like the La Masia now. The coach at the senior team and the coaches. Exactly. So once that synergy has happened between the youth team and the first team, then it becomes easy to translate performances from the youth team because it's the same tactic, it's the same formation, it's the same instruction and ideology. That was missing before. That's why we didn't see it. But I expect that in the cup competitions, we will see more of this.
All right, perfect. We'll look forward to that. Alani, I'm going to come to you. Manchester United back to winning ways against possible relegation, battling Southampton. Someone sent me a message like, "Oh my God, Aaron Ramsey is back to fighting relegation again. He should have stayed back at Arsenal." I'm like, "Oh, the kid needs to play. Is that good? He needs to play."
I really felt bad for the guy, honestly speaking. Like,
but for real,
I think playing with 2 relegation try as in routine team to getting yourself to Arsenal, and when you felt like, wow, those days
I'm
are over.
I'm almost there. Yeah.
And now you see yourself back to that. It's not really a very cool thing.
Anyways, how would you rate the performance of United overall? The introduction of Garnacho changed things, and there's this rumor which I'm hoping you'll be able to clarify. Garnacho liked a comment, a post where Ronaldo criticized Eric Ten Hag, right?
Yeah.
And the news was Garnacho was dropped because of that, but Garnacho was not even started. I'm like, is there like anything to that? It's just people try to clickbait. Of course, it's on Newsnstanta. I want people to react to that as well, but is it clickbait or it was actually a situation at United?
Well, you don't really at times, unless you get to the mind of the person involved, you might be very difficult. It might be difficult for you to know what it's all about. But for me, I think it's more of a clickbait as it stands. I think Eric Ten Hag as correct. If whoever understand the way he's treating Rashford now, he's more of a guy trying to reduce his number of enemies. Because some United. I remember his first season, even despite Ronaldo treatment, when the going was very good, it was just like we were just waiting for that bad period to start and to get that team. So I don't think it will do that. But again, if you look at it, that right side of attack, we've seen Garnacho playing there. Nobody has actually locked down that right side of attack. Ahmad started there in the first 2 matches of the season. Garnacho started there against Liverpool. I don't think he really played very well. The whole team didn't really play well. So Ahmad starting there again this time around, I don't think whether it has nothing to do with that post. What I would just say is Garnacho as a young person, as a player who is still trying to find his feet, I think should probably avoid such thing. No matter how opinion you have, focus on your career. Your career development at this stage is more critical than whatever is happening between your current coach. You might not agree even with the way your current coach does things, but again, he's your coach for a reason. And I don't think you want anything that will stop your development or hinder your development at this point in time. And I think for Erik ten Hag too, I don't think will play if he has any issue with. I don't think he's going to read so much money to eat. He has much to deal with at this moment now to focus on Garnacho liking the comments, which it is like we're saying, okay, Sancho probably because it might not be the same. Sancho posted something on Instagram and Bruno Fernandes sent a very encouraging comment about that. So at times I don't think he should, but focusing on the game itself, you have to be happy or impressed with the result. It's a 3-0 away victory, but again, it's against Southampton. And if you watch the first 30 minutes of the game, you say, okay, everything bad about United is in that first half, first 30 minutes. And I think one of the major problems is United keep conceding too many chances. If you are conceding these too many chances to Southampton, and if you do the same thing to Crystal Palace will punish you. West Ham will punish you because those ones are more polished than what do you call it? That Southampton. And not to talk about the top clubs. So it is something. I think everything boils down to the shape of the midfield. I still don't think he has gotten the right. And unfortunately, it's frustrating that in his first season, there was a glimpse of how that team should be. There's a double pivot with one guy who knows how to pick up the ball. We saw some Christian Eriksen playing alongside, I think, Casemiro or McTominay then. And reason why Eriksen falls a little bit deep is to carry the ball forward, like to initiate when they are initiating to transit the ball to the midfield, because that's not Casemiro's stronghold, and that's probably not McTominay. But what we've seen of recent is probably him playing a single guy, a number 6, and playing 2 number 8 in an advanced position, which leaves a lot of gap in the midfield for the other guys to. And for Bruno Fernandes over time, I think he has been accustomed to more play like a 10, just behind the striker, doing more of the damage in the final half of the opponents, not really with initiating the attack or bringing the ball around. So I just don't. I think he has a lot of things to sort out around that midfield. You could see Kobe Mino was the one playing the holding role. He wasn't too really comfortable in that place. Eriksen was a bit advanced on the left. Bruno Fernandes was a bit advanced on the right. Still much of gap. There's still a lot of gap in that midfield. That's a very good team. Well, Ogate came in the second half, but at this moment, I think it's going to go beyond just an individual player solving. It's going to be with the coach trying to get the right balance in the right system. And I just want to say this because I think we didn't have this show that week, Liverpool weekend. I have seen a lot of clips around. This idea of playing from the back, I love it, but it should not be a must. I've seen a lot of small teams conceding a lot of terrible goals, terrible chances. If you notice the goal City scored, second goal Alan scored yesterday. That assist was directly from the goalkeeper, and I've seen them doing that. Despite Guardiola's team likes building up from the back, there are moments when you choke them and they just go long directly to Alan because Ederson can pick up those passes. I think team can do that too. Instead of losing the ball in your own not even your own half, your own box, it's better to send it straight and let everybody fight for it in the middle of the park, so that even if your opponents will attack you, you have all the time to to reset yourself. So because I still think a lot of teams, and United too is guilty of this, they want to play from the back, and either they don't have enough players to do that, or they are playing against teams who are better, who are more aggressive, more comfortable. why do you have to put yourself? Because look at that Liverpool game. They conceded 2 goals from position whereby they lost the ball themselves in the middle of the park. So, just going back to United, I just think he needs to sort out that his midfield combination and how he wants to play, because it can't be a great thing conceding too many chances.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much, Lali. Actually, I'm going to come to you. Pooh versus Nottingham Forest. That is a wonderful strike by Osimhen. I love that goal. And Liverpool seem to be out of elements for real. No quality chances created. Looks like they were out of sort.
Yeah.
If you ask me, Salah that we were looking forward to see better things from could not get them across the line as well. Usually after international breaks, teams struggle.
Yeah.
So we can pretend and put this down to that kind of situation where like, okay, it was just a one-off because of the national break that we just came back from. At the same time, it could potentially be a down-throw part for them, because realistically, if not because it made us a believer before the international break, like, okay, Ancelotti, we'll have to see. Let's wait and see. He has good ideologies. Do you think this is just a dent along the way and they're going to get better? Or you were not so confident with the way they played over the weekend?
I think both things can be right at the same time. I personally think that they played down to the opposition, to the competition. Of course, the fact that they just came back from the international break obviously played a factor. But I think if the name of the team they were playing was a big name, mentally they would have checked in more. They played down to that opposition of Nottingham Forest, which was a shame, because this was a team that had played 3 straight games, won all 3, conceded 4 goals. This was the first goal they will be conceding in 4 games.
Yeah,
I think it was Slot's error not to get his team mentally prepared to play against the team in front of them. They played against a name than to sort out the team in front of them. So I personally think that they get better, but it's a sign of of things to come, primarily for Slot, for him to understand that it really doesn't matter whether that team is on the 19th position or the 4th position. Any team in the English Premier League will
drag with you.
They will give you their best. But let's not take away anything from Nottingham Forest. Kudos to them. It wasn't as if I won't call it against the run of play. Obviously, Liverpool dominated possession, but they weren't creating much. Apart from that one chance, I think Luis Diaz, when that other trying to see it off to the goal for goal kick, and he came onto his way and was able to shoot to hit the bar. I didn't see anything clear cut on Liverpool's position. So for me, more credit should go to Nottingham Forest for saying today is not the day we die. And then blame should go to Slot for not working on the psyche of his team and getting them prepared to play who was in front of them. Now, we have said this countless times, even before this season starts, that what is usually the undoing of City's competition. Arsenal 2 seasons ago, maybe Arsenal and Liverpool last season, has how they navigate the smaller teams. City put team down. I mean, before the international break, the last game before the international break, I believe it was a game against, I'm not sure who City played against, and that team managed to score first. I think it was Ipswich.
It was Ipswich, yeah.
And Ipswich had the effrontery to go and score first. And City just said, you know what? We need to put you in your place. So that is the killer attitude that they must have, Liverpool and Slot's team must have to navigate this
going forward.
But I think it was Slot that did not prepare his team mentally to play against the team in front of them.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much, for Kachi, for that. Slot did not prepare his team mentally for the team in front of them. Lali, we're talking about the coaches that would be sacked for us. I need to put it out there. I'm sorry, Nuno Espirito is still in the Premier League with Nottingham Forest. I goofed that because you guys directly asked me and said I think he left, but he's still there. But the guy that is trying to be sacked for us looks like Sean Dyche. 7 consecutive consecutive games where they will go 2-0 up and still lose 3-2, and they did that against Aston Villa at the Villa Park. And much kudos should be given to Chelsea, because I remember in the summer they were going all about this Duran guy. What the hell is this guy? You know, why is Chelsea after this guy? But this guy has, especially if you play fantasy football league, you see this guy has been is a good buy for everyone. Comes in, does his business, go back to the bench. Comes in, does his business, because he's never going to be number one starter as long as Oli is still in that thing. You know, but that was a lovely strike from the kid on the day, and tactical ingenuity on the part of Kylian Mbappe himself. It was a masterclass as far as I'm concerned. And Oli Watkins was just Oli Watkins. Game could have been changed at 2-1 when Dominic Calvert-Lewin had that golden opportunity to round the goalkeeper and score the third goal. But for some, because that's the guy you would have wanted in that kind of position, right? In the whole of the Everton team, that's the guy you would have wanted in that position. But he fluffed the lines and kept it at 2-1, and Aston Villa won eventually. How much of kudos should we be giving to Kylian right now? I'll give you 100%. And another, I'm going to refer you back to, I think, last year. Was it last year or 2 years ago? 2 years ago, I believe, when Kylian first came to Premier League after taking the job of Steven Gerrard. I'm like, okay, let's give him a chance. He has proven last season that he's there. This season might be more difficult because they're going to the Champions League, but he has proven it. How much of steez or how much of kudos should we be giving to Kylian? Olali? I believe it's not there. I'll catch it.
We probably lost the sound. Yeah. See, you have to give immense kudos to Unai Emery and the job he has done. Villa was a perennial mid-table team. Yes, we know they are former champions or European Food Cup winners, but that was even before even Asta out, and then had my brother, had my sister. But I'm going to be 42 in a few weeks' time. So I'm saying all that to say, not a lot was expected from Aston Villa, even when Unai was appointed. I'm pretty sure the ownership of Villa, the mandate they would have given him was keep us in the
league.
Keep us in the Premier League. I don't know whether you're ambitious or not. I just want that Premier League money for as long as I can get it. And he has turned Villa to the RB Leipzig, direct but functional and interesting style of play. No one is a bigger star than the other. Everybody understands their role. If not for the fact that I can't seem to remember his name now. Their number 9, their attacker, who got that goal in extra time in the Euros. If not that he didn't come back in time for pre-season, he would have buried the chances he had against Arsenal, and they probably would even have more points now.
Ole Watkins.
Ole Watkins, thank you very much. So much kudos should be given to Unai for having an identity, for sticking to it, and I think we should also give kudos to the players for also buying into it, because they could have come and said, why are you trying to push us this hard? we just want to be in the Premier League. Don't sell dreams of Europe to us. You know, but they've not limited themselves. I know you keep saying, "Oh, give credit to Chelsea for chasing after." I don't give credit to you for almost getting someone. I will give you credit if you ultimately got that person and is banging in the goals for you. But yes, you have to give good credit. We're saying it with the Spanish, and it's supposed to be something that will ultimately benefit England. Maybe not in the short term, but in the long term. We're seeing Lopetegui in West Ham. We're seeing Unai right now in Villa. We're seeing Pep in City. We're seeing Arteta. I believe there are 2 more Spanish coaches in the Premier League right now, introducing a style that is heavily contrasted to what English coaches are used to. The Sean Dykes, the Sam Allardyces, the world. But when England gets to a position where they can combine both styles, Olale said it for City, they went direct in their second goal over the weekend. But I'm bringing all that to say we are now seeing teams embracing what the Spanish tacticians are doing. And no other bigger example apart from City and Arsenal than Aston Villa. From Emi Martinez to Oli Watkins, everybody knows their role and they are doing it. Now, when the Champions League ultimately starts and the games come thick and fast, will they have a big enough squad?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. But if they can do just enough to continue to remain in Europe, which we believe Unai can do, then this will become a phenomenal success.
Yeah, all right, perfect. So the last guy is Adoni Iraola of Bournemouth.
Exactly.
Chelsea run for their money over the weekend as well.
Right.
Going forward, of course, we talk about Liverpool and Aston Villa. Chelsea defeated Bournemouth 1-0. In the La Liga, 2 penalties. One was taken by Boniface, the other one by Kylian Mbappe, gave Real Madrid a 2-0 victory against Real Sociedad.
Right.
Barcelona, I don't know who's going to start them right now. I know enemies are saying some things right now. But of course, Barcelona won away from home against Girona 4-1. Yamin Lamal scoring 2 out of those goals for Barcelona. And Barcelona, if you ask me, Hansi Flick is a good coach.
Absolutely.
He might not have succeeded in Germany, but we know the stuff that is made of. Olale, are you back with me? Say something if you're back. Like we know what is made of, so we probably would see this. It's not going to be a flash in the pan, and that's my belief. Alewa is playing with smiles on his face again against the Lewandowski that we've seen in the recent past, especially last season. I strongly believe that they will get better as time goes on. Of course, Atletico Madrid defeated Valencia 3-0 with Otto Gallagher. Did I say Otto Gallagher? Conor Gallagher getting on the scorer charts as well as Griezmann. I don't know who the top goal scorer was for that particular fixture. And in the Italian Serie A, AC Milan, our team, we won 4-0 over the weekend. Tammy Abraham getting that gift to take the last penalty when Rafael Leao gave him that chance to take the penalty. Won 4-0 against Valencia. Inter Milan played a 1-1 draw. The game just ended a couple of minutes ago, maybe like an hour ago. Napoli won as well, and they're sitting on top of the league right now. Juventus played a 0-0 draw over the weekend as well. I'm not going to say it's early days. Things are definitely going to change. Roma played a draw as well, so things are definitely going to change. But what are you thinking? How's the level of confidence, especially as an AC Milan fan? And who do you think would be winning this league? I definitely don't want Napoli to win because of what they did to Osimhen. But with Conte there, they have a fair chance.
Yes, they have a fair chance, Debo, because Conte somehow always manages to get his message across in his first season. The revolt from the players and the clash with the owners typically happens
in the second season.
So I won't take it away from them, but I would give them a 15% chance. I totally think Inter, being the defending champion and retaining the bulk of their stars, who probably stand a 40-45% chance of retaining it. AC Milan has a lot of grounds to make. They're already about 7 points off the pace. If they're on 5 points, I think Napoli has 11 or 12. I'm not sure right now.
Right now, I'll be able to tell you. Napoli has 9 points.
They are 4 points off the pace as it is. And it's always very difficult to play catch-up. But what gives me confidence that they will at least compete is the fact that those that are there now are even heavier than elephants. They are horses, and they will come down the tree. The biggest challenge for a team like Milan is how quickly they can buy into whatever Fonseca is selling. It looks like maybe the break has helped them and he's been able to pass his message across. But there will be tougher games to play. You know, when you play against teams like Torino and you are dropping points, what do you expect against when you play Juve now?
Inter Milan.
And so for me, Inter Milan remains clear-cut favorites to retain. Juventus, obviously, because of all the goodwill they have going with them, you can't rule them out. So in that particular order, it will be Inter, it will be Napoli, it will be AC Milan and Juve. I won't be surprised if that's how the season ends up. But we must give special mention to Atalanta. Atalanta's biggest issue is to remain consistent. They churn out performances like today, 1 week, and then they're looking for them and asking, how did these people win? I'm happy Milan ultimately got their victory. My son, I didn't tell him that AC Milan won, but he chose today to wear his full AC Milan jersey. So there must be something he has heard or whatever. But I don't think actually thought they only should have stayed 1 more year. I'm not going to go into all that, but it is Inter Milan's league to lose until they lose it.
All right, perfect. And of course, Victor Osimhen got an assist as Galatasaray won 5-0. Victor Boniface scoring 2 goals without creating celebration. That boy is not serious. But it's good for football. We need some people like that. We quickly go through Champions League fixtures that we have over this week. I'm just going to point out the key ones. AC Milan versus Liverpool at the San Siro. Who are you leaning towards?
2 new teams, 2 new coaches. They've always made for interesting fixtures. I'm not going to waste time here. My head definitely says Milan. I think if they had not won against, albeit a smaller opponent in Venezia, then I would have had cause to worry. But I totally think Ancelotti may not be convinced on who to start and how to set up his team. I'm advantage of that. It will be a narrow victory, but Milan, I see winning it.
All right, perfect. Of course, I'll say Manchester City versus Inter Milan.
That is a rematch of the finals 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
Both teams have gone on to become better. They've gone on to win their respective leagues last season. And they've started well this season, albeit Inter getting that draw over the weekend. I think this game is at the Etihad, and I will give Inter. I will give
Real Madrid, City. Sorry,
City to win this. It won't be close, but it will be a very physical game. 3-1 favor of City.
Oh, nice. You're calling this corner now. that's how do you say it?
Bold.
Bold. Yeah, it's a bold claim. Of course, Atalanta versus Arsenal. Away for Arsenal.
And that is what will spell doom for Arsenal. I think the only upside Arsenal has is us not knowing which Atalanta will show up on that day. But I think they play so well when it comes to cup competition. Atalanta is one team that plays up to the competition. They don't play now. We saw what they did to Liverpool in the Europa, home and away. Saw them end Leverkusen's unbeaten rope. We saw what they just did over the weekend. Lookman is playing with absolute confidence right now.
African Footballer of the Year.
Definitely is the de facto African Footballer of the Year for me. CAF would know if they want to keep their goodwill that they've enjoyed from the successful hosting of the last AFCON, they better do the right thing. But we know how African coaches are never objective when it comes to voting, so I never know what will happen. Anything that can make a certain JJ Okocha lose to in 1998 tells me that, hey, anything can happen in AFCON, in CAF. But I think I see Atalanta winning this simply because of that soft underbelly in the middle. Declan Rice obviously will be back, but other guys I'm not sure will be. But I think Atalanta wins this narrowly.
Oh wow! Well, that would be a bad one for Arsenal. Of course, Atletico Madrid. I think they should be able to handle their business against RB Leipzig.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think so too. Atletico, they are somehow trying to shed their physicality, and I don't know why Diego Simeone is leaning towards being more, playing with more flair, playing with more physicality. Their identity really should be that physicality. But whether they play with flair or they play with physicality, Leipzig has lost too many players that I just think the message and the identity they had has been diluted. Atletico will set up in the image of Diego Simeone, and I think they will win this.
Okay, all right, perfect. Malani, are you back? Let me know if you're back.
Yes, I'm back.
Okay, Monaco versus Barcelona. I think Barca should be handling their business against Monaco. Malani, what do you think?
Well, I think Barcelona, they started the season on a very impressive note. And so Flick seems to be getting his mojo back. We were all impressed with his work at Bayern, with that very direct, expansive style of play. That it was a mix of everything good about football. And something happened when they left. He went to the national team, and at the national team, the team just couldn't get it right. So at least for what we've seen so far is probably reminding us a good coach he is. I think everything is settling down in Barcelona. The off-field dramas are a bit reducing, not totally over, but of course, I think it's getting better gradually. And I think the squad seems to be settled. Everybody, I'm so impressed with how far they've gone so far, considering the fact that they still have a lot of injuries, issues to deal with, and they've been very impressed. So I expect them to handle the Monaco, their business against Monaco. I don't think that should be an issue to them.
Okay, I'm going to start with you. Real Madrid versus Stuttgart. Madrid are the typical Madrid. They're not super impressive. They get the business done, but they've not been super impressive so far this season. I think I've seen a couple of that games. Like, okay, this is just about average. Because we thought they were going to be explosive. Truth be told, I know they definitely miss the Triquesta, what they call it in Italy, in Toni Kroos, that guy that gives them control in the middle of the park. They did not solidly replace it. Nobody to replace it. Truth be told, it's going to be difficult to replace Toni Kroos anyways, unless you want to get a Rodri. But I see it, but do you think? I think they should be able to handle their business at Santiago Bernabeu against Stuttgart.
So, I think my understanding of these new formats is, I think a lot of big teams, I think, should be able to handle business up unless. I think there are some that have pretty very bad fixtures like PSG.
PSG has a very bad fixture.
But I think for others, it should be okay. For Real Madrid, I don't think I have any issues with them at the beginning. I think La Liga should be where they should be more concerned. Whichever way, I think they will advance through in the Champions League. I think it's a transition stage for them as they have presently. Couple of things to sort out. If you see the few games they've played, there has been this struggle. Ancelotti probably doesn't want to play more. I think he's trying to play two guys. He's trying to play two guys who probably like to play on the left centrally now. I don't know. Vinicius likes to play on the left. Mbappe likes to play on the left, and now you are not even you are not like
even Rodri likes to play on the left.
Even Rodrigo likes to play from the left. So now you are not even like playing one of them on the left. You are now probably want to play two of them centrally. Because I think it's trying to, and this is the result of Jude coming in last season and creating that. At least he has created that, what do you call it, name for himself, that yes, he has to be put into consideration with whichever thing they are trying to. And I think for control purpose, for more bodies in the midfield, they are not those things. I think it's difficult for him to go to a flat 4-3-3 just like that. So we might most likely sometimes when you see Mbappe, Rodrigo, and it might be three in the front somehow. But I think it's a transition stage, like you rightly pointed out. I think that might affect them more in the La Liga more than in the Champions League. I think they need to sort out a lot of things, like how they play together, the combinations, and like rightly said, they are missing Toni Kroos. Modric is not getting younger. I think that's even probably more of a bigger challenge to them in terms of that control, somebody to transit the ball. And I don't think Chomani has probably got to that level they probably wish him to get to. So yes, I think Champions League will not be a problem. I think the quality will show in most games. They might probably focus one or two few games, but I think where that could counter them most, where that could go against them most, is probably going to be in the league. Not in the Champions League. So I expect them to handle their business in the Champions League against.
All right, perfect. Kachi, Luis Enrique came out to say they never beat it. Sorry, it wasn't Luis Enrique. It was Luis Campos that came out to say they never be there for Victor Osimhen over the summer. PSG, I mean, that's their sporting director. But they are going to be facing Girona. Girona just lost against Barcelona. Confidence will not be at the all-time high. A certain Bacola, they spent £50 million on that boy. Looks like a decisive and a good investment.
Yeah,
it's relatively unknown, but what we're acting on in particular, I've seen of him over the last couple of weeks, even from last season, you can see the quality. Okay, maybe he's not mature yet, but what I've seen of him, like, oh, this guy is one for the future. And of course, Ousmane Dembele, when his head is correct, he can do very well. Against Girona, do you think that they'll be able to handle their business against Girona, especially since it's happening in France?
At the Parc de France. This I would say there was a reason why a lot of Nigerians wanted Victor Osimhen to go to PSG, primarily because they felt, and I'm probably one of them now that I think about it, that it's a good place with a slightly lower quality of competition that would help him get confidence. I always believe that when you are the biggest spender, it's almost like Bayern Munich. When you are the biggest spender, always buying the best players in your league, anybody that will fit in like a glove, even if it is not explosive, you will succeed in PSG. That being said, they only came against, they are going to play against Girona team that played against a very, very good Barcelona team managed by Hans Flick. I do think that Girona quality, forget that they are first-time participants in this tournament, I still think their quality would cause PSG some problems. I think this is the kind of game where Girona makes a name for themselves.
Oh, wow.
You ready? Are you ready?
Yeah, I am.
Both take, it will be a shock victory for Girona.
Oh wow. Olade, do you agree with that? Kaja has given like 2 or takes now. Atalanta to win against Arsenal, and now Girona to win against PSG away from Olali.
Well, I think I might find it difficult to argue against that Girona PSG. I think it's a possibility, considering the fact that I would say PSG team is ordinary, but they've lost a lot of their star power. They've lost a lot of star power, and I think they should not be considered like they should not be. In the last 8 years, at every point in time, they've got one big player that must have made you feel like, okay, these guys are one of the top 3, top 4 teams. But I don't think that is the case now. I think it's a combination of good players, and the Girona team too is not a walkover from especially for what they did last season, and I'm sure they still have the core of that team from last season. So I don't think it's like
no, they don't.
It's not a crazy idea to feel like
their striker moved to Atletico Madrid. Savio moved to Manchester City.
But again, beyond those two, so I don't think it's a crazy idea to think they stand a chance to cause an upset against PSG.
Okay, PSG. All right. Tolu Balogun asks, will you be analyzing Conference League? And my answer to that, Tolu, is hell no.
Maybe in the
not at the early stage. Even Europe, not at the early stage. Not at the early stage.
Tolu, tell us you're a Chelsea fan without telling us you're a Chelsea
fan.
He's a big Chelsea fan, of course. Olali, I'm going to round up with this one, and that would be the game between Juventus and PSV.
Juventus and
you need to get PSV and Juventus. Tolu, you need to get into a better league. Don't worry. We'll analyze it when we get to that bridge.
Okay. Juventus PSG. What? Juventus this season. New manager.
Yeah.
New style of play, and I think they've been missing. When last did Juventus play in the Champions League? I can't even remember.
2 seasons ago. 2 seasons ago.
2 seasons ago. So, yeah, back in the Italian league, they won their first 2 games. They won their first 2 games, and I think they drew their 2 most recent games, and it was 0-0, which means, well, it won against Empoli, the other one against Roma. Of course, Roma is not that easy side for you to. I think they're in the transition period now. Where is the game taking place? Again, is it in Holland or in?
It's going to be at Juventus.
In Holland?
No, in Italy.
In Turin.
Juventus Stadium. I think it's going to be in Turin. Sorry, so I think it's going to be a very, very close game. To be sincere, I don't. This Juventus team is not like a big exceptional team. Lots of young players, lots of. I'm surprised they allowed this guy to join. What do you call it? Liverpool. What's his name? Federico Chiesa. I should think he could see how.
I don't know what.
But whichever
what I had against Chiesa. I don't know. Go ahead, Olali.
So PSV still has those their usual suspect. Is it Luke De Jong?
Yeah.
Or those guys. You know what the Dutch total
football is all about?
It's a game I think might probably end. I think the game might probably end in a draw. Yeah. I'm not too convinced about Juventus. I don't think PSG 2 has a lot to. It's a game that I think has high potential to end in a draw.
All right, perfect. Of course, I'm sorry. This is where I'm going to be ending it tonight. Judas Iscariot had a baptism of fire over the weekend. His team lost 9-1 against AZ Alkmaar. And when I say Judas, I'm pretty sure Larry knows what I'm talking about. Kashi, they are looking lost. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't. I think I do. You need to let me know who lost 9.
I'm talking about nobody else but Robbie Van Persie. His team had already lost against AZ Alkmaar that one.
Oh.
It's always difficult. Coaching is
It's
very
coaching.
super
Which team is he
difficult.
coaching now?
Ereveen in the Dutch league, and I think
Wow.
coaching is
And they
one of-
lost to who?
They lost against AZ Akwa, and it was a fatigue 9-1.
Wow.
That can actually kill you before you even start, you know. But we wish him luck. I think he's still a good coach. I think a good manager, at least from what he has done with the younger team. Hopefully he bounces back, and if not, good luck to you, Robert Van Persie. Any last word, Lale, catch you before we go tonight?
On my side, the last one.
So,
Lale, go ahead.
looking at what do you call it? I think
Looks like we lost Olale.
Yeah. Kachi,
I'm just going to
last
put
word.
for Cowboy Nations in the NFL. It's looking like this season
okay, go on, Kachi.
is going
No,
to
go.
be
Let's Kachi go.
it's going to be the same thing that you experienced. You start with big promises after paying your quarterback almost $231 million guaranteed. It's get ready for a heartbreaking season. How about them Cowboys?
Olale.
Yeah. So, Debo, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Hello, Debo.
Yeah,
So,
I can hear you. Go ahead.
This morning, so this morning I was just looking at something like, okay, teams that have won the Italian league in the past. I think I just came across something that looks very interesting about the city. Of course, Turin has one more. I'm trying to see if I can lay my hands on it. So my surprise between Roma and Lazio, they only have 5 titles.
Interesting.
Considering how I don't know how to put it, like how traditional these two teams are, what would have the thoughts of probably between both of them, you might probably be thinking of at least 10 league titles. Sometimes you just need to go and check some of these. Sometimes it's just good to go back and check some of these things, that you'll be surprised with some kind of crazy stats you will come about. Yes, between both of them, Roma has won 3, Lazio has won 2. I think the city of Turin still has the highest. Juventus 36, Torino 7. Then Inter Milan has more Serie A title than AC Milan.
Yes, one more.
2019.
Just one more.
Just one. But I won't believe that. I won't probably believe that if I didn't check this. So I just want to put this forward to you.
But hold on, Kachi. I ask you a question. So all those fake titles that Juventus won, are they included in these 36 titles?
Yeah.
They are. So
Which
they
one
will
is
never
fake?
remove. All those ones that you took away from
They
them.
can't remove it.
They can't remove it. If they took it away, AC Milan should have 22 titles now.
Yeah, they did not.
Interesting.
I think the sanction for them was going to the lower division.
Go to the lower league, but they did not strip them of the titles.
I hope they are going to
For the
strip
title.
Man City. They are going to start Man City's 115 charges. I believe.
Proceeding
tomorrow.
Let's
So
trial start.
I hope they are going to strip them at least of the last 3 titles. At least.
Yeah.
At least they will strip them
Yeah,
of the
but
last
what-
3 titles.
Let's-
I said it
but
to
let
lower
me-
division.
Let's wait and see.
But let me ask this question.
Yeah.
Assuming they strip them of those titles,
Yeah.
do you think okay, and they now pronounce Arsenal the winners of those 2? How do you feel about those titles? Do you feel like we won it or what?
I'll be extremely glad. Yes, we won it. Yes, we deserve it. Yes, the Man City
How did you deserve it?
I don't
they
think
deserve it.
I don't stripped of the title.
Tony said all we need City to be demoted. The dominance is too much. They're going for a 5th one. If Bala continues scoring like this, tell me who's going to challenge them.
I don't think they will be stripped of the title. If they found guilty, they will be demoted. No.
They should be stripped at least of the last 2 titles. Just give it to Arsenal. I think
Your emphasis on that last 2 titles is very, very.
Yeah. It's I have my own personal agenda, and of course the way they've dominated is too much. Now the feelings cannot be the same. We'll still banter you. Don't worry, banter me with it. But at least we'll have 2 extra titles. That means we are closer to United and Liverpool. That will make sense. Kachi,
Yes.
Olale, I want to ask you guys a question. Your own rival is Inter Milan. Unfortunately, it's not the same. So at least let me put it this way. Let's pretend you guys are Arsenal fans for a second. As an Arsenal fan, would you rather win one more title, win the title this season, and Spurs win the Champions League, or both of you does not win any title? Let's just pretend, because I know City have already won they've already won the Champions League, and of course, Inter Milan won the Champions League as well. So it probably will not be applicable to you guys. So let's just pretend you're an Arsenal fan.
Yes.
Would you rather Spurs won the Champions League and you win the league, or both of you win nothing?
My brother, it's a crab mentality in London. I pull my enemy down. My enemy cannot go up while I'm no. We both cannot succeed together. Only I succeed or we both fail. In case going for the failure.
Olale, what about you?
It's a bit tough. As long as I probably win the bigger trophy.
Bigger trophy. Come on.
But you just don't wish your opponent well, no matter what it is.
Exactly.
You just want to have it alone, no matter what. You don't want to split anything. You don't want to see them in any element of joy. I think that's what it's all about. That's what football rivalry is all about. No matter what, you just want everything. Like, I think Kachi's option is the best. Either I win it all or we don't win anything at all. I don't want to see you happy.
I don't want. Do you know what it means? That they will now carry the bigger parade in North London. No. Let North London be quiet. Let there be.
And looking at the dynamics, considering the fact that Arsenal has not even won that Champions League before.
That Champions League. That makes
So
it worse.
you rather go trophyless than seeing Spurs being named like the second London team to win.
They win the Champions League.
Come to think of it, up until 2005 thereabouts, Arsenal were still the biggest thing to come out of London.
Yeah.
But
Even
though Arsenal still has more, even Arsenal still has more titles, more Premier League titles than Chelsea. But again, those 2 Champions League titles, as in, make that conversation look very, very different. Like, we have something you guys don't have. And I don't think Arsenal can afford Spurs.
Especially
I don't think Arsenal can afford Spurs to get that one over there.
The Nigeria fan base, right? Anyway, that's the wrap up the show. Till we see you again next week. My name is Newinstanta Sport. Thank you very much, Olubandogu, for staying tuned with us. Bye, guys. Have a good one.